The hype for the Halo reveal at HCS this Friday, guys, continues, and we had some interesting bits of information come out today, which gets my hopes up even higher, even though I try to maintain it. But when I see this, I can't help but get excited about what's coming next, guys. And this is going to be an absolute game changer for the entire franchise of Halo. So if you guys want to know everything, make sure to stay tuned throughout the whole video to understand all the details. Now, as we saw on Twitter a few days ago, Brian Gerard, aka Sketch, the community director, said on Twitter saying that they hope to see everyone in person, particularly at 1 p.m. when we share an update on one of Halo Studios' projects. But it's looking like we're gonna get more than just like one announcement though. But that one announcement we are going to get is gonna be very significant, as Ryan McCaffrey apparently is over at the Halo Studios. He tweeted this out saying, "I'm on a field trip today at the Halo Museum. I've been here. I've been to this location. This Halo Museum is actually like a real treat. It's pretty awesome." But the thing is, you definitely gotta take an eye out of just looking like, okay, well, if you're flying out IGN people to come check out the studio, that means there's gonna be something really good, right? Also, Parallax Stella here, who's a host and producer here for the journalist over at Halo Studios as well, to check things out. This is also in the Halo Museum. And also, there's one more, a little bit lesser known, but a guy I like to personally follow. That's the content creator Jam Pack Sam here. He does a lot of great news and information stuff. Honestly, the same kind of stuff that I do here for Halo, but kind of just for gaming in general. But yeah, people come by and check out the studio all the time, but have all these interesting like influencers and media there at the studio just recently. You know, it has to be something real special. And I feel like this is going to be that old friend that's been with us since the beginning, returning in 2026, as Phil Spencer heavily alluded to, that being the Combat Evolved remake, which we've already talked about a ton this week, especially on the channel. Check out some of the older videos if you guys want those juicy little details for that game reveal. But you know, obviously it's going to be very interesting to see how this whole thing plays out. Apparently the reveal is only going to be about like maybe 15, maybe 30 minutes in presentation, but probably a little bit more in that 15 to 10 minute range on the whole. This can be much more a high level, just kind of more announcement stuff rather than like actual gameplay details. But we do know that there is going to be a presentation of a deep dive about the reveal that we're gonna get at 2 p.m. on the community stage. This is gonna be much more like additional information. There's not gonna be really much news being made here though, because if we're putting this on the community stage, this is more just like more context to what you just saw, rather than giving you guys like fresh new details about everything. Though I could be wrong, I would pleasantly be surprised by that, but I would not expect some more revelations happening there. But I will be there taking notes for you guys. But rumor has it that this Combat Evolved remake is going to be an evolution of Combat Evolved, not going to be a one-to-one recreation. It's also going to take advantage of utilizing the Unreal 5 as like the coat of paint, while using Reach as the base engine for doing all the calculations. Now, I have heard they are going to be taking some artistic liberties on some missions and levels. Maybe some missions like the Flood that can be a little frustrating, especially with the rocket flood involved. Maybe tweak that a little bit to make it less frustrating to play through, but it's going to be relatively faithful from what I've heard to the original, except for adding in things like sprint, possibly clamber being added in as well with the modern gameplay mechanics, which we've talked about previously on the channel. Now, there's been this photo from the playtest room of Halo Studios, and it very much gives you a bit of an insight about what to expect. Here from Susan Bunch, who's one of the playtest leads there at Halo Studios. You can see it's something really revealing a whole lot. You get like a Halo ring, you get the platform right there, which looks like Guilty Spark potentially make a more updated version of that character, but it looks very familiar to what we've seen like Assault in the Control Room and stuff like that. I mean, this is just like screaming Combat Evolved. It's not Combat Evolved, I would be just shocked. Now, even though the community director Sketch said we're going to take a look into one of the many projects being worked on right now, doesn't mean they won't bring it up though, because we did have this recent information reported from Rebs Gaming here saying that there's going to be like a long-term live service project that's going to be like Fortnite coming along with the release of this game coming out in 2026, likely being 2 games. Saying right here that Rebs, as a credible source, was told that there were 2 Halo games that were planned for release in 2026, One could be this multiplayer title, and the other would be in the long rumored Halo Combat Evolved remake. Again, if you're going to release it alongside with the Combat Evolved remake, which is going to be campaign only, this likely might be an announcement, a tease, or at least a reveal of Project Echo, which is going to be a game mode that's built off of the ashes of the long lost Halo Battle Royale that just never came to fruition. But that's not going to be all that we're going to get here on the first day of the reveals when it comes to HCS, as it's alluding to a bigger reveal, as in potentially Halo coming over to PlayStation. Yes, the long-awaited rumor of Halo finally coming over to PlayStation like all the other games, but there is this little breadcrumb trail that Grunt.api shared with us back on September 30th. You just shared a picture of what looks like to be a comet, which, if we're going to be doing anything involving Halo with comets, I can't help but think of the intro to Halo 3. I mean, there's been other people talking about like the drop pod you come in Combat Evolved, or like hell pods from ODSTs and stuff like that. But I mean, this has got to be it, right? Which you've heard nothing about like Halo 3 remastered or any other kind of games being remastered besides Combat Evolved. So what do you mean? And then today, sharing that comment emoji once again, with this time with a PS5 PNG as a tweet. I mean, like, it means Halo is going to be announced coming over to PlayStation, which over at these HCS events like this would be a perfect time to announce Halo to come over to PlayStation. But with Halo coming over to PlayStation would be absolutely massive for the entirety of this franchise, right? First of all, with Xbox's new initiative of being on all platforms, no red lines, Halo really is the last one to not cross that red line, right? And so this would be the perfect time to do this. But again, Grunt with that comment, man. I mean, like, are you saying that there's going to be like a Halo 3 remaster or something? I don't know. Call me crazy. And keep in mind that Grunt was actually one of the first guys to break the news back in June, which we talked about it here on the channel as well, saying, honestly, I didn't expect to see this come across this today, but I can now officially confirm a Halo game is coming very soon to PlayStation. As of now, there is no sign of a version for the Nintendo Switch, sadly. So with Combat Evolved remake being announced, potentially, allegedly, and also allegedly Halo come over to PlayStation, it would make just sense to invite influencers and the media over to check out the studio, especially the head of IGN over here, to check things out and get a glimpse of what's to come over for the Halo side of things. And guys, it's been a wild ride, a long ride for sure, but there's been so much interest with Halo right now. I'm getting really excited about this. Of course, I'm being apprehensive with it because we've all been hurt in the past, right? So have I as well. But when I just see the rumors going around, inviting in the media and influencers to check out the studio as well, I just feel like that Halo Studios really is feeling confident about what they're going to reveal. Is something the greater industry as a whole is going to want to pay attention to, which I am certainly going to be part of that as well. And of course, if you guys want to stay up to date with all those updates, make sure you like and subscribe, give some hypes on the channel, all that stuff, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.